For 7 long years, Monica James watched her son live in silence. Jalen was a beautiful boy. Bright eyes. A smile that melted hearts. But he didn't speak. Not a single word. Every specialist in Atlanta, from Emory to Johns Hopkins, said the same thing. Your son is on the autism spectrum. Nonverbal. Likely permanent. Monica didn't give up. She paid for therapists. Flew to Boston for advanced scans. Hoped. Prayed. Spent everything. But the diagnosis never changed. There's nothing more we can do. Then came someone who saw what no one else did. His name was Trey Collins. He was 29. A janitor at Jalen's elementary school. Worked nights, cleaning classrooms, waxing floors. Once, Trey dreamed of being a doctor. He even got into med school. But when his mom fell sick, he left everything to care for her. Bills piled up. Life moved on. He never made it back. But he never stopped learning. Trey kept a worn anatomy textbook in his locker. Watched medical lectures on his phone during lunch. People at the school joked and called him Document. He just smiled and kept sweeping. Then came the rainy afternoon that changed everything. Trey was mopping outside the special ed classroom when he noticed Jalen sitting alone, quietly playing with a plastic dinosaur. Jalen was different. Calm. Focused. Every few minutes, he pressed his fingers to his neck or tugged gently at his right ear. Like it hurt. Trey noticed. Over the next few weeks, he watched more closely. When Jalen got frustrated, he didn't just retreat into silence. He winced. He touched that same spot behind his jaw. Like something deep inside was wrong. Trey started writing it down. He didn't know why. He just knew something felt off. One day, the school nurse was out sick. A substitute teacher called for help. Jalen was in the corner, shaking, crying silently, clutching his ear. Trey was nearby. He rushed in. Hey, buddy, Trey said, kneeling gently beside him. Can I take a look? Jalen didn't move. But his eyes met Trey's. There was pain. And something else. Trust. Trey reached for the emergency flashlight from the cabinet. He tilted Jalen's head, shined the light gently into his ear. What he saw made his stomach twist. A dense, dark plug filled the canal. Impacted wax. Swollen. Inflamed. Possibly infected. He'd seen it before, during rotations in med school. A blockage like that could completely block sound. Could even prevent speech development. Trey's heart pounded. Jalen wasn't ignoring the world. The world had just never reached him. That night, Trey couldn't sleep. He searched everything, case studies, ENT journals, medical threads. Every sign pointed to one conclusion. Jalen had been misdiagnosed. But who would believe a janitor? The next morning, Trey waited by the school drop-off. When Monica's SUV pulled in, he stepped forward, his hands shaking. Ms. James, he said. I'm Trey. I work here. Monica gave him a wary glance. I think your son has something stuck in his ear, Trey said. It might be affecting his hearing. She stared. You a doctor? No, ma'am. I was in med school. Didn't finish. But I saw something. I think it's worth checking. Just, please get a second opinion. Monica almost drove off. Another stranger. Another wild theory. But something in his voice stopped her. That afternoon, she called an ENT clinic in downtown Atlanta. 3 days later, they sat in the cold exam room. Jalen in his chair, quiet as always. Monica gripping the sides of hers. The doctor looked inside Jalen's ear. Then paused. Then leaned closer. What he pulled out was the size of a grape. Hardened wax. Dirt. Even a piece of soft plastic, possibly from an old toy. Calcified. Impacted for years. He ran a quick hearing test. Jalen turned toward the sound. He heard it. Monica gasped. Say something, she whispered, tears building. Jalen blinked. His lips moved. Mama, he said. The word was raspy. Fragile. But real. Monica broke. She dropped to her knees and sobbed into her hands. 7 years of silence. 7 years of waiting. And now, her son had spoken. But the miracle wasn't just about sound. It raised deeper questions. How had every expert missed this? How had the scans, the tests, the treatments, all failed? How had no one thought to just look closer? It wasn't the world-class hospitals. Not the specialists in Boston. Not even the therapists in Atlanta. It was the school janitor. The one no one saw. The one no one listened to. But he had listened to Jalen. And he had changed everything. The days after Jalen spoke his first word were filled with wonder and rage. Monica James had spent 7 years believing her son couldn't hear her. Now he was humming to himself in the back seat, asking about songs on the radio. She should have been celebrating. But she couldn't stop thinking, how did every expert miss this? She had spent over $200,000. Traveled across states. Trusted men in white coats who told her it was permanent. And yet, it wasn't. She couldn't let it go. That Monday, she walked into the school office with one question. Where is Trey Collins? The receptionist looked surprised. He's on the 3rd floor, cleaning the science wing. Monica didn't wait. She found him alone in the hallway, pushing a mop bucket. Trey. He turned. Ms. James. I need to talk to you. They sat in an empty classroom. She told him what happened at the clinic. The blockage. The hearing test. The word her son had spoken. Trey listened, nodding slowly. You saved him, she said. No, ma'am, he replied softly. I just saw what no one else was looking at. Monica shook her head. That's exactly what saving looks like. She didn't stop there. That Thursday, at the school board meeting, she stood behind the microphone and told everyone what happened. My son was misdiagnosed for 7 years, she said. They said he'd never speak. But someone in this building, someone with no title, no degrees, no recognition, saw the truth. She looked out at the room. His name is Trey Collins. He's a janitor. And he gave my son his voice back. Gasps. Murmurs. Then, silence. I'm asking this board to create a new position. Health and wellness advocate. Let Trey help other children like mine. Let him finish the work he started. The board didn't need convincing. The motion passed unanimously. Trey was stunned. He hadn't asked for any of this. But the next morning, the principal handed him a letter. Full-time position. Benefits. Funding to complete his degree. He was no longer a janitor. But not everyone cheered. Some teachers whispered behind his back. He's not certified. He's just lucky. This isn't fair. Trey said nothing. He kept working. He built a checklist for early health indicators. Partnered with nurses. Started screening students with subtle signs, things he had seen in Jalen. And in just 3 months, he flagged 4 more cases. A girl labeled defiant who actually had severe auditory sensitivity. A boy who'd been punished for ignoring instructions. He had partial hearing loss from an old untreated infection. Trey caught it all. Meanwhile, Jalen was changing fast. He sang now. Asked questions. Laughed out loud. One night, Monica found him whispering into the vent in his bedroom. "Why are you doing that, baby?" she asked. "I want to know if it echoes," he said. "I never heard an echo before." She broke down again. The small things, the sounds most of us take for granted, were miracles to him. At school, Jalen followed Trey like a shadow. They ate lunch together sometimes. Traded facts about dinosaurs. Talked about sound. And then came the moment that changed everything again. A local reporter caught wind of the story. A janitor, a misdiagnosed child, and a miracle. The article went viral overnight. The man who gave a child his voice. Suddenly, Trey was on morning news shows. Podcasts. Schools around Georgia called the district for consultations. People offered him jobs. Scholarships. Money. He turned most of it down. "I'm not done here," he said. "There are still kids in this building who need to be heard." One afternoon, Jalen surprised everyone. He walked into the front office with a hand-drawn poster. It said, "Trey is my hero. Give him a big job." Monica framed it. Weeks later, at Jalen's 8th birthday party, the backyard was filled with kids and music. Jalen didn't cover his ears anymore. He ran. He danced. He shouted, "Free!" Trey arrived late, wearing a clean button-down and his same worn sneakers. Jalen saw him and screamed, "Uncle DOC Trey!" He sprinted across the yard and jumped into his arms. Trey laughed and lifted him high. "You having fun, champ?" "Too much fun." Jalen beamed. "And guess what?" "What?" "I heard the ice cream truck before anyone else." Trey froze, smiling. "That's my guy." Monica stood on the porch, watching the two of them. Her sister leaned over. "You okay?" She nodded. "More than okay. My son can hear the world now." And he found someone who listened before he ever spoke. The sun began to set. Children ran in the grass, music played, and for the first time in 8 years, there was no more silence in the James home. Just joy. Just sound. Just life. And Trey? He never went back to mopping floors. Today, he runs a national foundation for child wellness. It's named after the boy who changed his life as much as he changed his. It's called the Jalen Project. And its mission is simple. To listen harder. Look closer. And never, ever judge someone by their silence. If this story moved you, leave a comment below. Tap that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more powerful real-life stories that remind us, miracles don't always come from specialists. Sometimes, they come from those who refuse to look away. And if you know someone who needs hope today, share this video with them. Let them know, sometimes, it only takes one person to change everything. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next story.